shortly. So Mark, Sarah and I all come from the Quality Teaching and Learning Department at LIT, and over the last year and a half or so we have been involved in initiatives to, I suppose, develop staff capacity and infrastructure and resources around the promotion of active learning for student engagement. So today we have a three-part story to tell, and in the time that we have, I will quickly give you an overview, first of all, of the three projects. So the first project is around the development of a Special Purpose Award Level 9 in active learning for student engagement, which is a program provided for staff, which is up and running just in the first cohort this year. The second project is the development, research and publication of a compendium of active learning. And the third project is around local enhancement projects, 7 of which will be described by Sarah a little bit later on. So I'm going to tell you about project 1, and then Mark and I will both collaboratively tell you about project 2, and Sarah will come in on the final project. So this first project here, Active Learning Pedagogies for Student Engagement, was designed over a year and a half ago. Before COVID, it was designed to be a blended learning kind of a module for staff. But of course, because it's ran in just this academic year since last January, it has now been fully an online module. So over 30 participants are involved. And myself and Sarah are involved, and another colleague, Martin Fitzgerald. So we've had a lot of, the breakout rooms, the forum discussions. The module is designed, I suppose, to help staff to really investigate what is the scholarship behind active learning, number one, and then how to apply it. So their assessment involves a scholarly paper on the theory of active learning, and then also looks at implementation of 3 different active learning strategies resourced by the compendium that we'll speak about shortly. And they also have to look at designing an innovative assessment that links to active learning strategies. The module is part of an overall suite of 9 modules now being offered as a kind of one piece of an accredited pathway that will enable LIT staff to achieve a certificate, diploma or master's in academic practice when they accumulate modules together. We've one more workshop to go, which is in 2 weeks' time, and we'll evaluate and see how it has gone. So a sense of lots of learning. It's one of my first times being actively involved in teaching fellow colleagues, because I worked as a lecturer in the Department of Applied Social Science before this. So it's been a very interesting and different experience. Okay, our second project then is a keystone project for us in the Institute. Active learning has been a signature pedagogy in LIT for over 10 years. And in recent years, with the development of our last teaching and learning strategy, the sub-members of Academic Council, we really kind of pushed out our own learning around what active learning is. And we've come up with kind of 6 principles and now that are floated as kind of what we mean by active learning in LIT. And those principles include that it's about vigorous engagement by students, that it's constructivist and co-constructivist in the process, that it involves higher order learning, that it's about embedding and retention of knowledge and skills, that it's collaborative, and that learning is multifaceted, that it's about both cognitive, affective and social. And in this learning compendium, we have researched and written over 65 different active learning strategies in part 1, and we've outlined LIT's overall philosophy towards it. And then in part 2, we've collaborated with 18 practitioners across 5 different locations in LIT to talk about their implementation of individual learning strategies that have worked in their disciplines. So it's proving to be an invaluable resource and is available now on the National Forum Resource Hub as an online educational resource. So I'm going to hand over to Mark, who's going to talk over a little embedded video to tell you a little bit more about it. So over to you, Mark.
Hi folks, Mark O'Connor here, learning technologist, and you are watching a video I put together to promote our wonderful compendium of active learning here at LIT. The footage you're seeing we got from our marketing department, so if ever you're doing a project like this, I encourage you to check in with your marketing department, as they have always got lots of good images and footage to use copyright free. Our compendium features individual activities along with partner activities and finally group activities in the first half of the document. We were careful to represent every LIT campus in our compendium, and also to try to bring to life the daily lives and learning experiences of students here at LIT. The final section of our compendium is our practitioner guide, which is an opportunity to showcase many of our academics' work, and the compendium itself allows peer-on-peer discussion and sharing of work. As you can see, we've brought a professional look and feel to the design of the document in keeping with our institution's color scheme and branding. So this video has been a useful tool in helping us get the message out about our compendium to audiences outside LIT, including the National Forum, of course, who funded the project. So just a couple more slides on the journey from Word doc to multiple versions to our final version of interactive PDF and 500 copies of this 120-page publication. Our graphic designer was Jules Hackett, who brought a wonderful combination of creativity and design skills to the project. We hit the ground running in lots of ways by redesigning disparate resources into a cohesive whole and redesigning graphic resources and replacing photos with redesigned images, guaranteeing excellence at printout. When choosing a printer, we supported local business in choosing justprint.ie on the Dock Road, and that allowed us to collect test print copies from the factory, and they were very helpful with distribution afterwards. High praise in our forward from Professor Vincent Canaan, saying this compendium represents a big statement of intent for our new TU. And our marketing team, along with being supportive in the creation with excellent resources, also shared our document through LinkedIn. The reception has been very positive across the board, and plans are already afoot for Compendium 2. We will be creating new resources with our technology kits, which will consist of both software and hardware solutions, which will create positive changes, including celebrating early adapters in our community of practice, creating outputs to be showcased in Compendium 2, and to widen the impact of our QTL office across all LIT campuses, and to link in with our new colleagues at AIT in our new technological university. We look forward to answering questions at the end. And now I will hand you over to my colleague, Sarah O'Toole.
Thanks, Mark. So I just want to talk to you about another initiative as part of the Strategic Alignment Fund, which was the local enhancement projects. So these projects focused on student engagement and the integration of technology enhanced learning within the classroom. So a call went out to all staff who were interested in working either individually or in small teams and who wanted to collaborate with the Quality Teaching and Learning Office on one of these projects. So in total, there were 7 local enhancement projects which were funded, and they represented staff from across the 3 faculties in LIT. And there was also 1 project from a staff member working with students in the Learning Support Unit. So it was a great opportunity to work with staff from each of the faculties and to have that involvement as well. So each project, like I said, focused on student engagement, in particular around how best to integrate technology into the classroom. And again, a lot of the projects achieve this through the development of online resources, videos, audios, and also support guides and toolkits for students. So the projects really did provide a foundation for advancing the core theme of digital enhanced learning and teaching, but also in the context of active learning, which is integral to the Institute's strategy. One of the outcomes of the LEPs, sorry, if you could just move on to the next slide, Mark, thanks, was the cross-disciplinary collaboration that occurred as a result of the projects. So, for example, one project that was developed by a staff member in the Built Environment Department, and it involved creating a 3D virtual map of the main campus. This was later used by staff in the Limerick School of Art and Design to create a virtual art gallery for students to showcase their work. So it was an excellent example for them, or opportunity for them to do their exhibition. And this is going to be launched in the next couple of weeks. So again, really good to see this, I suppose, with the local enhancement projects, just that they're being taken, that they're not just, that's just not the end of their journey, that they're being taken, they're being added to by other departments as well. So it's great to see. We also saw some really good examples of staff sharing best practice in relation to innovative assessment through the use of Microsoft Teams and the use of the class notebook, either for their final year projects or when they're out on work placement. Each project team was actually invited to present at our Staff Development Day, which was held in February of this year, to showcase their work. So again, a really good opportunity for the teams themselves to disseminate their work and to let their colleagues know about the projects that they've been working on. The projects themselves provide a rich case study for how digital tools can be implemented into the classroom. And there was a great interest in the LEPs from the Staff Development Day, and we're going to continue this type of work and this initiative in our next SATL call, which my colleague Michael will talk about later. So I'll hand over to Michael. Thanks.
Thanks very much, Sarah and Mark. So yes, the feedback from our international panel with regard to the 3 projects just outlined was tremendously positive. So they use words like cutting edge in terms of our approaches, that the deliverables were exemplars for other HEIs about what might be done in terms of sustainable infrastructure. And so really encouraged by that, we're moving forward to the next cycle of SATL, Strategic Alignment for Teaching and Learning Enhancement, for next year. So Mark, the last slide there, please. And in that, we're looking again at kind of a similar approach where there will be something similar to LEPs, like staff bursaries for innovative assessment practice and technology enhanced learning. Accredited CPDs, so we've already had an assessment for student engagement special purpose award go through Academic Council, so that will be rolled out and offered to staff. And then Mark will be involved in furthering the digital capacity building of staff through video production and editing, creation of reusable learning objects, and enabling learning analytics tools to be used by staff. We were, as Mark has already flagged up, we're looking at having a compendium volume 2. So positive has been the reaction to the first one, because this will enable staff to showcase and publish their own work internally, but also to make it available across the Irish higher education sector. So the focus on this year's one will also be active learning practice and assessment and practitioner innovation around those. So thanks a million for giving us this time. I hope, Mary, we're still within time budget, and we look forward to taking your questions a little later.
Thanks so much, Michael, Mark and Sarah. I'm in awe of all you've